Welcome back, the DVD collector again with another review. This time we're reviewing the Netflix TV Netflix show called the Ragnarok. So I'm a big fan of Marvel's Thor, the MCU movie Thor. Love the comic store, and through the comic store, it got me more interested in the Norse mythology. And with that, here we are. When I first saw this show, I was very intrigued to learn more regarding the mythos, and this show was very enjoyable. The show came out in 2020, and it finally finished just 2 years ago. And just because, again, a lot of things was happening for a couple years, I did watch season one and season two like right back to back. So I had to wait like a year or so for season three to drop, and I did not watch season three up until 2025, up until today, as I'm uh, making this video. So there was a 2 year gap, and luckily enough, the show was still on Netflix, so I got to finally watch it, and it is a very enjoyable show. Uh, the genre is a fantasy drama type show. There's not much action. There's really not much fighting going on, and that's, I would say, is the sort of a downfall in the show. Again, when you think of Thor and the mythos, you think of war, you think of fighting, and you think of action, and it's really not about the action. It's more about the drama and the conflict that's going on, which is fine, but I really wish there was more action or fight scenes in it. Because, I mean, it's Thor. Like, Thor is he's the god of war. He's a god of thunder. So I would suspect to have some more fight scenes, but unfortunately, not. The show lasted 3 seasons, roughly 18 episodes in total. Uh, it was mainly about. It's kind of a spoiler because I have to, in order to tell you what it's about, kind of have to know the twist of the end. So, what it's really about, I can't pronounce the actor's name. It's like these Norwegian names, so forgive me. So I'm not gonna bother try. The main character, he's been diagnosed with schizophrenia, and he thinks throughout the whole series he's imagining that he's Thor. He's imagining that his brother is Loki. He's imagining that there are other gods like the Jotuns, the giants. There's Odin's in this as well. There are some, like I believe, witches that are in this as well. A lot of stuff relating to the mythos are in this, and this the child, or the kid, the boy, the man that's playing Thor, he's imagining everything. So from season one to season three, he's imagining it. Upon watching, I did not know he was imagining. I thought everything was legit, was like really happening, because he gets his hammer. The giants have powers. His brother has a bit of powers. His brother gave birth to the Midgard serpent, and a lot of other characters kept popping up, and there's a little bit of magic going on as well. But by the actual end, absolute end, at the end of it all, final episode, season six of episode 6 of season 3, it's revealed that this was all a dream. Basically, it was all in his head. Everything that was going on was all in his head. So all the hammer doesn't exist. The lightning doesn't exist. The giants don't exist. All the Norse mythology elements do not exist. So it's just basically a big dream. It was basically like The Matrix or Inception. A big dream. Wizard of Oz. Just a big dream. And at first, I see it as a slap in the face. You invest so much in this show, and it's all a dream. But then when you realize it's kind of interesting. It's similar to the Matrix. It's very similar to the Wizard of Oz, to Inception, where these characters, those characters, they go into an entirely different world, where they go on their adventure, they go on their journey, and it's the same thing here. But in those movies, you actually know what's happening. But in this show, you don't actually know it until the final end of it all. Overall, though, good show. Great show. I like the twist. It's different. The twist is different, which is why I like it. To some people, things I've read, they just didn't like the ending, because it was like you invest so much and that's all you get. But I understand where people are coming from, but I like the ending. The main highlight of this, I really like the mythology elements into it. The Odin, I liked Odin. I liked his ravens were in it. I liked Loki a little bit. A little bit for the most part. I liked Loki. And I thought I think her name is Saxa. In the mythology, Thor, I won't say married, but he dates or has a child with Saxa, where he gives birth to Magni, which is his daughter, and I liked her. Really good on the eyes as well. The moral of this, it's sort of like, the Wizard of Oz, the Matrix. It's about learning your lesson without having to experience it head on. Because in the Wizard of Oz, she had to learn her lesson or learn a lesson of I guess, respecting or loving her home. And she didn't have to do it in real life. She had to do it in a fantasy world, and she understood what she had to go through. And that's why, when she said there's no place like home, because she missed home. She missed her home, because that's where, she belongs. So it's like the show, it teaches the main character lessons without actually having to experience it, if that makes sense. The villains in this, they were the giants, the Jotuns. They weren't really giants per se. They were just regular people, which had me a little confused, because in the mythos and in the Marvel comics, giants are actually giants, but these guys were just regular people. I thought they were okay. I did not really fully understand their motive in the especially in the third season. Didn't really understand what their motives were, but understanding that the show was not the show, but the whole concept of the show was just a dream. It sort of makes sense that their motives weren't really clear, because this was all in his head. Like, all of it was in his head. And as the show says, it's Ragnarok. Like, that's what it was, leading up to. And what Ragnarok is the ending of all things. It's the ending of Asgard and to, like, start anew, basically. And right as, in his head, Ragnarok is about to start, that's when the whole show pretty much ends. Overall, again, great show. I liked it. It's really hard these days to find a show to keep me invested for at least 3 years. So for me to come back to the show, even 2 years after it ended, it says volume. So I really enjoyed the show. I would give it, just because it lacked action or fight scenes, I would give it a good 8.5 out of 10. Anyways, I'm the DVD Collector. Thank you for watching.